Hello guys, welcome back at Template-redesign, and today we're gonna make this really beautiful landing page. This landing page is for a website that make blog posts about birds. This consists of a header with my logo over here, the nav menu, when I hover over it, it gets a little transparent, a cart carousel slider, the background of course, then you have the remote dots over here, you have the bird articles, the main button, also with a small animation. When I press on the dots, the background and the content will change. This is the content of the bird that you see, and if I press on read more, you will read more about this bird. These are also articles with fun facts and the image that also will be changed. Now when I press on next, you see the background is changing, the image and the content is changing, the dots are changing and the card carousel are changing. So everything is connected to each other. And this is the end result, guys. I hope you like this design, and if you like, please like and subscribe. And this design you can download for free at my website. I will show you in a minute. If you want to download this design, go to my website template-redesign.com, open view designs, then you see here all the designs you can download. This is in the tutorial, press on download, download template, and then you can download here the design. If you want to know how to use this design, press on menu, go to download tutorial, and here you will find a video how to import and export this design. I hope you like it, and now let's start designing. The first step in this design is to set Elementor, the page layout, to Elementor canvas. Then drag in your first main container, make it full width with a width of 100%. The minimum height, view height, will be 100. Direction vertical, and the gap between elements on 0. If you go to the advanced tab, you set off the link values, and this is the first main section. Now drag in your first container. This will be your heading. Make it full width 100%, minimum height with a view height of 10, the item direction row horizontal, and the gaps between element 0. Also make sure the link margin and link paddings are set off. In this heading we are going to drag another container. The first container is full width with a width of 9.5%, minimum height, view height of course 10, direction you can set it on default settings, that will be vertical, justify content center, align items center, and the gap between elements on 0. Go to the advanced tab, and of course link margin and padding are set off. Then we will duplicate this, we go to the next one, and the next one have a width of 27%. At the beginning of this video I've showed my complete design, and you saw some small black lines through my design. These are borders. So go to your style tab, go to border, press solid, and a border on the right. The border is black but not completely, because it's a little transparent, like this. I also have to do that for the first container, and this is what you get for the beginning. Okay, now we can duplicate the second container. We can do that 2 times. And as last one we can duplicate the first container, and we drag this container to the end. This is the setup of the design, and this is also the setup for the header. Now we're gonna make our logo. Now we finished the header, we're gonna set up the layout for the rest of the page. So you can take this whole container with inside these 5 small containers, and you can duplicate this one. Now we have another row like this. That's what we want. We want to duplicate it one more time, but for this one we want to change the view height of each box. So this minimum height will be 60. So now we have 10, 20 plus 60 is 80. 60, we change everything to 60. And the next step is to duplicate this middle container one more time. And now drag it below this one. Now it's here at the bottom. And make this minimum height 20. And do this also for all the small containers inside. Now you look at the design, you can see I've shaped the whole layout for this design. And now we can import all the elements that we want to import. So let's get started with that. As you can see, we have a lot of containers in this design, and that's not really good for the speed of your web page. So it's important that the pictures you use are compressed, so it will not further down your site speed, because that's really annoying. To keep things organized, I will set these 4 containers off, and we start with the first one in the left corner. Here we will paste our heading. Our logo is our heading, as I say, and I will type my logo over here. The text color is of course black. The typography is Montserrat. So all the text in this design, EM 1.5 and the weight 900. Then we have a letter spacing, EM 0. Then if you go to the advanced tab and press on the transform, press on hover, we want to scale it a little bit when you hover over it. So I'll make it a scale of 1.1. When I hover over it, you have this small animation. You can make the animation duration, I set it to 1 second. It's 1000 milliseconds. And now it's really smooth. This is the first step. Now we're gonna drag in our nav menu. It's our main menu. It's layout horizontal. The breakpoint I have set on none because I like to make a separate design so that works really good on your mobile. The align item set on stretch. Then we go to the start tab. Of course, Montserrat. EM of 1. Weight 500. And the letter spacing 0.15 EM. Make the text of course black. And when you hover over it, it will be a little transparent. So black and a little transparent. Also do that for the active one. I don't want a pointer in this design. And you can do that at the content, pointer, none. We want to spread the nav menu more over the page. So go to the advanced tab. So we set the margin on the right side to -50, like this. And the width, custom, 100%. And now you get this design. Much better, I think. And this was everything from our header section. So this container can be closed and we go now to the second container. In the first 3 containers we will do nothing. But in the fourth container we will put a cart carousel slider. So look for your cart carousel slider and that's from unlimited elements. Let the loop stay on yes. Number of items 3. It's also fine. Scroll 1. Transition speed on 1000 and the margin between slides can be stay on 30. The stay padding type none and the autoplay off, transit everything here below is set off. This is the beginning. Now we go to the layout. Set everything off except your image. It will clean it up a lot. Then go to show title and set it on hide. So now we don't have our title anymore. Go to your connected widgets. Enable remote connection. Yes. Sync. Yes. Show debug. No. Then we have 3 items. We're going to change the 3 items. So we have 4 by default. So we can delete 1. Now we have 3. And we paste our image inside of it. Before we do that, we delete all the content that is inside of it. So these are the 3 images that I used. Now go to the style tab. We start with styling the normal content slider. When it is active you can change a little things. But in this design we have the normal and active image the same design. So state on normal. Align center. The background color has to be transparent. Otherwise you have a white background underneath your image that you will see a little bit. The content padding can be set off. I don't want a border around this content slider, so set it on none. The item margin can be on the right side with 4 pixels. Item scale can stay on 1. Then we go to the image. Set the image radius to 15. The image height to 105. Image width to 125. And the image padding, you can set it off. Now it already looks a lot better. The image fit can stay on cover. Now go to the advanced tab, start with set the margin and padding values off. Go to your margin, click on % and give the margin of -5%. Now you'll see it goes a little up. Go to the width, custom width with a width of 100%. Now here's where the magic is done. Go to position, press on absolute, set the offset on view width 40 and the offset vertical can be set -2. Now it's also a little bit higher. This is the end result. It looks really nice already. When I'm looking back at this design, I could have set the cart carousel slider in this container and drag it a little down. That was also a solution. I think that's even a better solution because you have less containers. But for now it's fine and we're going to the next container. And that's container row number 3. And we start with the first container. Before we go to the next container, I want to make a background so you will see everything changed nice and blend in with the background. It's not the background for the end, but it's for temporary. And this is how it looks. Now we're gonna drag in our remote buttons. And that's in this container over here, the remote buttons. The remote buttons have to be auto detectable. Show debug no. The gap can be on 50. The layout is set in a column. Justify center, align, center. And hover animation I have set grow. So when I hover over it, it will grow a little. Then we're gonna make the colors of this remote bullet. Go to the active bullet, go to bullet background. Then this can be transparent. Now you will not see them anymore, and the active button can be black. I want to blend it nice with the background, so I'll make it a little transparent. This is a little bit too much, like this. Then go to your bullets, bullet shadow. Now they are back. Don't like the shadow, so I set the blur on 2 and a vertical on 1. This is what I like. And now you can see the bullets because of the shadow, but they are transparent. The next step is to drag in your heating in this section over here. This will be our main heating, of course Montserrat. The size is the EM 2.5. The weight is 600 semi-bolt. The line height is 1.2 EM. And the word spacing is on 0.2. And when we look at it, this is how it looks. Underneath this heating we have a button, and this button you can also make a normal button from Elementor Pro or Elementor, but I used a button unlimited elements, so it's a little bit more than on a regular site. This button is called the icon pointer button. We start with changing the text, change the icon to an arrow, this long arrow over here. Here you can link your button to your next page. For now you can do that in your own design, for now it's not the thing that you want to do. The background colors can stay on black, but make it full black. The icon background hover, we will not change that when you hover over it, so it has to be the same. The icon color can stay on white, but when you hover over it, I want to be a little gray, a little darker, like this. Then go to the button style. The background color can be set on transparent. Of course, typography Montserrat with an EM of 1. Now it's fine. The button text color can be on black. And the background color, when you hover over it, I also want it to be transparent. So now when you hover over it, it will not change anything of the button. That's what I want. I only want to change that little icon. The text padding has to be changed a little. So on the top side I want 10, and on the bottom side I also want 10. Now it's a little smaller. Now go to the advanced tab, set the margin and link padding off, make the width custom of 75%. And this is the button for now. As you can see, they are not lined up nicely, so we're gonna change that as well. But before we do that, we have to add a box shadow around this button, because you cannot see the button very good at this moment. So go to your button, go to the advanced tab, press on border and give the box shadow. The box shadow will be the same, blur 2 and the vertical on 1, like this. But it's really strange on this side over here. So go back to the beginning, content, alignment left, I forget that. So now it's already better, but you can here see a radius, but I want the radius also be in my box shadow. So go back to your box shadow and add a border radius. And I have a border radius used of 10. And now it's the same as the button. And now it looks really nice already. Now we still need to change the alignment of this container. So go to this container over here, set the alignment at start and give it a gap between elements of 10. Now go to the advanced tab of your heating and give it a margin of 5% on the left side. Also do that for this button. And now the alignment should be fine. Yes, this is how I want it. And if you hover over it, you can see the small animation. Okay, this was everything we have to make for our third container. Now we go to the last container, the fourth, and we start with the second container over here. In this box, this container, you have a content slider. So go to your search widget, content slider. Set the autoplay on off, the loop can stay on, autoplay hover when you over it, on pause, yes. The slider type full, animation slide in up, animation out slide out down. The animation duration 1000 milliseconds, that's fine. Mouse drag, touch drag is also fine. Then we go to the layout. For this layout we only want the title, the text, the button, that's all. So we can delete everything. Then we go to the connected widget settings, set it on. Then we go to the animate content, and that's the default setting, is just fine for now. Then we go to animations. We have 3 designs, so we want also here 3 items, so we can delete 1. Now you can see the debug is already gone, because I have 3 buttons, I have 3 content sliders, and I have 3 items in my content slider as well. So everything is 3 in this design. Now I will change the text of the items. I will do that fast forward for you, because that's not really interesting. When you change the content, you have to delete the background image. Then you get this black box and not the image. So now I have to change the content of all my items. Now go to the style tab. The view height can be set on 20. This is the same view height as these containers. Vertical alignment, start. Horizontal alignment, start. Slider radius can be set off and the image fit can stay on cover. Now go to the content. The content background can be transparent. The max width can stay on 400. The content border type can stay on none. Radius is fine like this. Content alignment at the left side. So now the content is already on the left side. The content padding, I want to delete the padding. And at the top side I want a padding of 2 pixels. Sorry, 2%. And on the left side I want 5% padding. This alignment will be the same. Then we go to the title. Title, make it black, of course. Montserrat. The text also be black. Text spacing can be set on 3, so the gap will not get big. Then we're gonna start a button and we want a radius of 50 and we want the link values for this 50 pixel and the link values have to be set on, and the background of the button is of course transparent. And when you hover over it, I want to have the same transparency. The button text color stay on black, and when you hover over it, then the button text color will be a little bit transparent, even a little more, and make it black like this. That's fine. The button spacing can be set on 10 and have a border type solid 1. And this is how we make the button. And I have this really smooth small animation as well when you hover over. I think it's a little bit too much transparency, so I will change that. Now it's fine. This is the result of the content slider. Now we can duplicate this one and drag it in the next container over here because they are the same. As you can see, now it's not in the container. I want it inside that container. Now it is. We only have to change for the content slider the content items. So go to your content, go to items and change the content inside here. And I don't have to bother you with that, so I'm gonna do that fast forward. To finish off this content slider over here, I want to add a class morphism back. I did that in the following way. I went to Google, I searched for CSS class morphism, I picked the first site that I found, Hype 4 Academy, copy CSS, I have set the blur and transparency as I like it, like I see here, copy CSS, go back to your Elementor, go to the advanced tab, custom CSS, and paste the custom CSS. Before you do that, you have always to set the selector, dot selector, and now you have the CSS. And now you can see it doesn't work like this, so you go to your layout, change the class ID to container 2 in this case, go back to custom CSS, press .const custom CSS, .const2, open, I don't know how you call this thing, but open that and close it here as well. And now you have the background. When you look closely, you can see the radius over here. I don't want that radius. So I look in this design, oh, the radius is over here, I will delete that as well. And now it's already much better. This can I copy to first container over here. I change this class name to container 1, layout also container 1. And now this also has a class morphism background. This is already much better. Fourth container of this footer, we have only changed the background. So go to container, the starter, unlimited background is also from unlimited elements, background slider. Slide in up, animation out, slide out down, autoplay can be set on no. Then we're gonna enable sync and remote, press on yes, add a new item, the first item, change the background, make it image. Now we have the unlimited background and we're gonna change the images. The first image that I want is this image, the second image that I like is this image over here, and the last image that I want is this flying bird over here, this image. And now we have set the background and it already looks really nice. The only thing we have to do is to add the remote buttons so we can change the background and the slider over here and everything. So the last step, drag in your remote arrows, alignment, center, direction, column, gap between elements 15 is fine. Oh, make sure it's auto detectable. Go to your start tab, the button background I want it transparent. The border radius is fine like that. I don't want a border because I want a shadow. I want a blur of 2 and a vertical of 2 also. And now you have this button effect over here. And that's how you style these buttons. At least that's how I style them and I like them. And now almost everything's changed. You only have to change the background. So go to your first heading. So we can close everything here. Go to your first heading, go to style, unlimited backgrounds. Background slider, make it fade in, fade out is fine. We have 3 of them, so copy one, remove the background over here, remove the background over here, and remove the back. Now we can delete the old background, so we will do that first. We delete this background, go back to unlimited backgrounds. The first one, change to image, find the image you like. I want this image over here. Then the image position can be set on left top. Then we go to the second one. Now you can see I have to use smaller images because I didn't compress them, and now you can see it's hard for Elementor to work with it, but it's fine, I promise you. Make image, set the image to that you like. I want that bird, and that bird I have to position center bottom. And the last one, image, and that's the toucan that I like. Toucan. Insert media and set the image position to center. Now this is how you finish design. It looks really strange, but when I press on publish and go to preview changes, now we're gonna have a look. Yes, and that's how we want it. And you can see everything is changing that I have made. And I hope you really like this design, and if so, please like and subscribe. And if you really like it, you can download it for free at my website, template-redesign. And see you in the next video. Bye.